Alright, guys, let's get into the last, well, not the last, but episode 8. So, alright, so with this one, there's a lot going on. And they even brought the cliche of Jason Voorhees in this one. So basically how this one starts is that Brooke and Donna are at a diner. This is, trying to remember and kind of go with what's written down too. I know, I just watched this and I should remember it, but whatever. I was on the phone with my little one because he's with his dad at their friend, or his friend's house, whatever. So anyways, they're at a diner. They're just chatting about the camp and whatnot. And this one girl comes over. She says she's from the National Enquirer. And her name is Stacy. And she's like, oh, you look just like Brooke, the one that got executed. And come to find out later on, you'll see that she knows that it's actually them. And but at the time, she says, you look just like her, and this, that, and the other, and blah, 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 blah. And they leave the diner, saying, nice talking to you, and then they leave. They up and leave. And then it switches to the hitchhiker that the kids hit from the beginning, and he gets picked up by Bruce, who is in the pink car. While they're driving, Bruce is talking about music and everything, and how he doesn't like the 80s music. He likes the 70s, where he grew up and whatnot, and whatever. And they hear somebody in the trunk. Or at least the hitchhiker does. I forget his name. I forget the hitchhiker's name. What's his name? Oh, God, I forget that kid's name. Sorry, y'all. What the fuck was his name? Recurring. It's not showing it. But anyways, so the kid basically the hitchhiker kid that looks like a hippie. So yeah, he mentioned something about hearing something in the trunk, and so they pull over, and Bruce opens the trunk, and it's a woman that owns the car. And when it did a quick flashback, it showed she stopped to help Bruce, and in turn, as soon as she untied him, he pretty much choked her out and put her in the trunk. And when she came to, she was making noise, and so he was talking to her. Meanwhile, the hitchhiker dude takes off, and in the end, Bruce ends up stabbing the woman in the chest. And then once he gets to the park, or the camp, you'll find out later on that he actually hits the ghost of Jingles. But in the meantime, the little short dude who is Margaret's assistant brings her on the bus, and she finds out that all of the band members of Kookajou, whatever, are dead. And she gets all pissed because she's like, why am I the last to know? And being her little bitchy self. So she tells her assistant to chop them up into little pieces, put them in a bag so that they can dispose of whatever. It's funny because he hears one of their songs, and he goes behind the bus, and the group is alive. They're ghosts. But the band's like, yes, we're closer than ever before, or whatever. So then it switches to Jingles, or this is about the fight. He's looking for Richard. Richard, he is, he's at where the stage is and all the stagehands and stuff, and he's talking to this one dude who is asking what's in the box. Dude opens the box and it's Billy Idol's rings and things, bracers, whatever, and he wants to touch it. He's like, no, nobody touches this. And he's like, who are you with? And he holds his hand up and he's got the devil's star, like the upside down star carved into his hand. He's like, oh, right on. And then he goes into the woods where he gets in a fight with Jingles, because Jingles sees him and then like goes after him basically. Let's see. He doesn't realize. Oh yeah. Richard's got the guitar pick that the dude gave him, and he's like air guitar, and then like Jingles like ransacks him, and they just start fighting, and he doesn't realize that Jingles was a ghost, and so he finds out very quickly that he's a ghost because of Bruce, who hits him, and then he realizes that he's gone. So then, at first, Richard's pissed about it, and then once he realizes, sorry, I'm trying to get tissues here. Once he realizes, and after Bruce tells him that he's trying to outdo his number, he's like, we could team up and get Jingles together and whatever, kill all these people together and whatever, blah, blah, blah. So they team up. Meanwhile, with Donna and Brooke, they're in their hotel room or whatever, and gets a knock on the door, and it's Stacy, the National Enquirer chick. So she's like, oh, I knew it was you guys all along, and she's like, oh, if you come to my room, then I'll show you, blah, 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 blah. So anyways, they go to her room, and she shows them a videotape that she got that shows Brooke getting killed, or euthanized, rather. So then Brooke convinces Donna, because Donna's like, don't let this bitch talk, because, blah, blah, blah. She's gonna expose everything, but she's like, no, we'll just, basically it's a trap. She sets a trap for Stacy, and so then she's like, yeah, let's go to the camp and I'll show you what happened and this, that, and the other. And she tells her that the only person she killed was Montana in self-defense, and that Margaret was the one that killed everyone. So then it goes to the camp again, and Trevor, who is still alive at this point, sees Montana. Actually, I think in the last one, they get together and basically they have sex. And they're sitting in bed, and he's talking about he's willing to kill himself for her so he could stay young in the 80s. And he loves her and this, that, and the other. Meanwhile, Bruce and Richard are looking for Jingles. Xavier comes up and it says, oh, I know where his body is, and I know where to find him. And so Richard's like digging, looking for, he's looking for Jingles' body. And then Jingles stabs Xavier, killing him. And they get into another fight again. And then the bitch, Margaret, comes along, and Richard, not Richard, but Jingles is gone. Whatever. She said something about letting him go or whatever. So she says that she needs a favor. She needs all the killers that she can get, because she wants to kill all of the headliners, all of the musicians that's going to be at this event. And both Bruce and Richard agree, as long as they don't touch Billy Idol, because, obvious reasons. So I know there's a lot of switching back and forth with this show, but anyways, it's a good episode. So then it's back to Donna and Brooke. And so Donna's telling her it's not a good idea. Trying to convince Brooke that it's not a good idea to trap Stacy and to kill her, basically. But she tries anyways. She tells her to turn around so she can close her eyes and be in her shoes, and then she goes to slit Stacy's throat, but Donna stops her. And so she tells Stacy to go run away. And in the end, she still dies. And I was just sitting there thinking, that bitch is still gonna die anyways. Because she's gonna run into Bruce and Richard. Well, she does. She dies. Then they show Jingles being tied up by the hands. All the kids that are there, that got killed, are there confronting Jingles. And Jingles is like, you don't understand. I need to kill Richard, because otherwise he's going to hurt other people, including my son. Kids don't fucking care. They're like, we don't want that piece of shit soul stuck here. And then he mentioned something about how he knows, and because Richard told him about how Montana and him hooked up. After Montana's like, oh, he'd never kill children. He's like, well, that's before. I already know about you guys. You guys hooked up, and then once you broke up, he started killing everyone. Kids, adults, women, children, men, whatever. And so everyone else is like, wait, you fucking hooked up with Richard? What the fuck? And so she's kind of like feeling like she's pinned against the wall, like, how the fuck would you know that? And because, obviously he told him, so. But anyways, so then she's all pissed about it, and whatever. So at that point, it switches back to Donna and Brooke, and she tells Brooke straight off, she's like, look, you can't be doing this. We're only here to kill Margaret, not become all these other serial killers like everyone else, whatever. Not like, Margaret, Richard, Bruce, and then all the ghost kids that are there that kills everyone. They're just there for one person, and that's Margaret. So speaking of Margaret, it switches back to them, and they're sitting there talking, and yeah, so it shows, basically that's where it shows that they killed Stacy, when it shows Margaret and all them. And then Trevor, who's still alive at this point, again, still finds a distraught Montana saying that he loves her and this, that, and the other. And then she said something about how she was with Richard. He's like, what? You were with the Night Stalker? And she's like, oh, see, I know what you think of me now. And so she basically pretty much says that she doesn't want to see him anymore because, you know, everyone thinks that she's trash and stuff, and that she doesn't want him just because, you know, she thinks that he thinks that she's garbage because she was with Richard, which that's not the case, but she straight up tells him that she doesn't want to see him anymore. Just, you know, just get the fuck out of here, basically. But clearly, if you looked at the next, like the preview for the next week, he actually does end up killing himself, so whatever. So then, the three kids that were posing as Jingles pulling the prank, along with Xavier, they have him tied up. They have Jingles tied up, and still Jingles is like, you don't understand. He's, you know, gonna do this, that, and the other, and he's like, I need to see my son. And then Xavier is like, aw, poor baby, and basically he just doesn't really give a fuck. So they stab him, and they put him in a boat, and this is where they do the Jason Voorhees thing, where he's like floating in the boat. Basically, they just want him to, like, I don't know, they just want him to, like, kind of suffer, I guess. I don't know. So this is where his brother comes out of the water and, like, does the Jason Voorhees thing. Pulls him in the water, to which it flashes to him waking up from the ground. And he sees his young brother alive. And his mother, all happy and all kind and stuff, and she's all nice to him, and now that she's happy that her younger son is alive, she says that they can be a family again, and yeah, she's all nice to him, and Jingles is just like, I failed my son, you know, because he's thinking that Richard's alive, and now that he is dead, he can't do shit about it. He can't leave the camp to go save his child. So it sucks for him, but he feels like he's failed his child, and sorry, my allergies fuck this time of year. His mother is just like, you did all you could, and it's like, now that you brought your brother back, we can be a family again. And she's being all nice to him, and I'm like, why the fuck were you not nice to him while you guys were still alive? Or, you know, like, why'd you have to be a bitch the whole time and pick favorites, and now you're being all nice to him just because he brought your younger son back? Come on now. Don't be a fucking bitch like that. It's whatever. But that's basically where it ends. Honestly, as I was telling my friend, I think that because the last one's called Final Girl, which is what Brooke and Donna were talking about. Honestly, I think Brooke's going to come out in the end. I think, if not Jingles, I don't know. I don't think it's going to be Jingles. At first, I thought he was going to be the one to kill her, but now I'm thinking Brooke's going to be the one. It's going to be Brooke and Donna. And then once the girls actually kill them, and maybe Richard, questionably, I think Bruce is going to die too. But I think what's going to happen is between those three, sorry, I'm chilly. Between those three, there's going to be that one thing where I don't know if it's going to be Bruce. I don't think it's going to be Bruce. But it's going to be either between him, Richard, and Margaret, and I think it's going to be Margaret, probably, where she's going to get her one last kill. Or it could be Richard. And it's going to be Donna and Brooke, the victors at the end. And then there's going to be that one last stab or shot or something like that that's going to end Donna. Because Donna made the cliche of, like, whenever you see a horror movie, the black person always dies. So I think Donna's probably going to be the one to die. And then Brooke's going to be the one that stays alive. And she's going to be, like, the victor or whatever. The end. And so, unless, like, Margaret kills Donna, and then Brooke comes back and kills her fucking ass, which I hope she fucking does. Like, I seriously, I do not. I'm not really a fan of Leslie Grossman just because of the way, like, she's like the one villain you fucking love to hate. And I hate all of her characters, to be honest. She's just kind of a bitch. She just, I don't know, she plays a bitch so well, like, anyways, so that's how I think it's gonna happen. Could be wrong, but we'll see what happens next week, especially with this new kid that comes in. Like, who the fuck is he? You can't even see who he's gonna be playing, but he's gonna be in it. The dude that played as Dandy, I know he played as, like, other people. He played as Tristan, I believe, in Hotel, but, sorry y'all, the one role that stuck out to me about him was Dandy, and that's because I fucking hated Dandy so much. But anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. How do you think that the finale is going to turn out? I can't believe that we're actually got one more episode left, which kind of sucks, but I think it's going to actually come to a good ending, hopefully. And as my friend was saying, if the mother, Jingles' mother, is happy now that Bobby is alive, then maybe everyone else will be free. I don't know. We'll see what happens. The curse will be broken. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to go before it gets too much later and my phone cuts off. So I'll talk to you guys later. Let me know down below and talk to y'all later. Bye, y'all.